Good morning, children. How's it going out there? I'm looking forward to seeing everybody today and tomorrow and chit chatting with you a little bit. Should be pretty good. But today, going into tomorrow, we're going to be talking about figurative language. So before I move on, I just wanted to kind of break down how things will move forward from now on. I've heard what people have had to say, and I've heard what the problems you're facing as students. So from now on, we're pretty much going to have more than one day for every assignment that we're doing when it comes to our reading. So I might give you 2 chapters and a blog prompt, or I might give you 3 chapters because the chapters are short and give you over the weekend to do it. But from here on out, you guys I don't know if you've noticed this already, you're going to have multiple days to take care of these assignments. Okay, moving on. What is figurative language? So it is language which compares two things to reveal ideas about one of those things. Okay, the language used goes beyond the literal dictionary definition of the words into more nuanced, non-literal territory. Basically, we're comparing two things in order to understand one of them more deeply. So let's go ahead and talk about a few different types of figurative language. We'll start with the basics that you guys already know, and we'll kind of cruise through those quickly, and then we'll get into some things that maybe we have less familiarity with. First, metaphor, comparing two things directly without using like or as. So the assignment was a breeze. It wasn't like a breeze, it was a breeze, telling us that it is easy. Is it actually a breeze? No. Of course not. Come on now. Get it together, children. Next, simile, comparing two things using like or as he is cunning as a fox, or he's cunning like a fox. Is he a fox? No, children, he's not a fox. No, he's a person. He's just smart like a fox. And then personification, giving a non-human thing human-like traits. So something like the fire swallowed the entire forest. Fire does not have a mouth, does not have a throat, does not have teeth with which to masticate, does not have a tongue with which to taste. Okay? So a fire cannot swallow a forest. It's figurative language. Okay. Let's get into some of the newer stuff. First one, not super duper new, is illusion. So you guys are a little bit familiar with illusion. We've talked about this a lot, and I'm sure you've talked about this in other classes. But it is a brief and indirect reference to a specific person, place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, literal, or political significance. All right? It's a reference to a specific thing that has existed either in the real world or in literature. It does not describe in detail the person to which it refers. It is just a passing comment, and the writer expects us to understand enough to make the connections necessary to understand why that allusion is important, how it develops the ideas within the piece. We've got to understand enough to put the pieces together ourselves and make those necessary inferences. So what are some examples of this? So if someone were to say, oh, this place is like a Garden of Eden, so that's a biblical allusion to the Garden of God in the book of Genesis, all right? It's a passing allusion, and it would communicate to us the idea that some place is paradise or perfect or amazing in some way. Then there's the second one here. Don't act like a Romeo in front of her. Now, all of you guys know, because you read Romeo and Juliet, that Romeo is a reference to Shakespeare's Romeo. He's a passionate lover of Juliet, but he had some short-sightedness and kind of a fiery temper, and his love kind of put him in a bad place. So that might mean something like, hey, keep your head on your shoulders. We know you like her, but please just try to keep it together and don't do anything stupid. All right. Our next one, this one might be a little bit more new to you. This is metonymy. So metonymy replaces the name of a thing with the name of something else which is connected to it or is closely associated with that thing. So something that people often associate with whatever that original object, person, or thing is. So if we say something like, the pen is mightier than the sword, we don't literally mean that a pen is stronger than a sword. Okay, A pen refers to written words, okay? Pens are associated with writing, and swords are associated with military force and war. So we are saying diplomacy is more powerful than war, okay? Or something like the Oval Office was busy in work, okay? The Oval Office is a place that describes the presidency, okay? It describes the entire executive branch. So it's one specific place that's connected to the executive branch, but we use it as a stand-in for the entire power structure that exists there, okay? Finally, we have synecdoche. Now, synecdoche is a literary device in which a part of something represents the entire thing, or the whole of something might represent a small part of it, okay? So this can also mean referring to larger groups, to refer to small groups, or vice versa. It can also call a thing by the name of the material it's made of, or it may refer to a thing in a container or packaging by the name of that container or packing, okay? Some examples here. Calling soldiers boots on the ground, okay? Their boots are a part of them. That's a synecdoche. Referring to a car as wheels, like, hey, check out my sweet wheels. Now, a car is made up of more than wheels. Wheels are merely a part of it, so that is a synecdoche. Calling a business person a suit. They wear suits, so it is part of them, but that doesn't encompass the entirety of them. It is only a part. That's a synecdoche. Or calling a credit card plastic. So this is one of those cases where we're referring to an object by the material that it's made of. Okay? Plastic, synecdoche. So one final thing to note here is the difference between synecdoche and metonymy, okay? Because a lot of people are probably going to get these things confused. We got to take a moment to just untangle that. While they resemble one another, you got to remember, they're not the same thing. Synecdoche refers to the whole of a thing by the name of a part of it, a piece of it, all right? A metonymy is just something that is connected to the original thing, something that we have an association with. All right, why do we use this stuff? How does it make our ideas easier to understand for an audience? How does it deepen our thinking and our ideas within a piece of writing? Well, first of all, it creates imagery and allows for visualization. Now, visualization, very helpful in understanding. Imagery, very important in providing the details necessary to understand ideas. It creates tone or mood due to the connotation of the language used. It can help one understand an unfamiliar thing by comparing it to a familiar thing. Human beings learn through comparison. It might be used to highlight or emphasize important ideas and concepts. Remember, writers don't have to use figurative language. So oftentimes when they do use it, they're saying, hey, look what I'm doing right here. Pay attention to this. It can be used to link two ideas together. Okay? By comparing two things, we then have an association. This creates and implies connections for the audience, which allows us to think deeper and more conceptually beneath the surface. Okay, guys. Have a great day. If you have any questions out there, make sure to reach out. We will be doing a little check-in on these figurative language terms in the future, so be ready for that. I look forward to our conversations. Keep it right there.